Okay, today's video will be on our calculus summer review, reviewing compositions. And a composition of functions, obviously you need more than one function to speak of. Uh, let's say that we're given three functions, say f of x is equal to x cubed. By the way, what I do, and many teachers do this also, is they'll just write this out. That you could have f of a blank equals a blank cubed. That means no matter what you are substituting into the function, into that one empty parenthesis, you would substitute the very same thing into the other exact space. So certainly if I wanted to find f of 7, that would be 7 cubed. If I wanted to say f of even a symbol like a triangle, that would be triangle cubed. You could put even a name in there. You could put whatever you'd like in there. And that's stylistically why we do that. Let's do this with g of x. G of x equals 3x plus 4. G of a blank is 3 blank plus 4. Whatever you'd like to substitute in into those spaces you have to do throughout. H of x equals 4 to the x. H of a blank would equal 4 raised to that blank. Well, if that's the case, let's go ahead and just real quickly take a look at an example. Let's say that we want to find, let's say we wanted to find f of g of negative 1. F of g of negative 1. What we're going to have to do is always start with the most inside portion first. And we're going to find g of negative 1 then. So g of negative 1, if you went back up here, you could see that g of negative 1 would equal 3 times negative 1 plus 4. And that's negative 3 plus 4, which would equal 1. Well, what we now know is that that inside portion that I just highlighted, g of negative 1, is really equivalent to just 1 itself. So now we're going to evaluate what f of 1 is. But we're going to now approach from this side and say, well, f of a blank equals blank cubed. So f of 1 would very simply be 1 to the third. 1 to the third is just a 1. That's what our final answer would be. By the way, another way of writing this could be f with an open circle of g of negative 1. That's just a different notation that could be used. But that being said, that's our first example. Let's take a look at a couple more problems together and see if we could take a look, say, at example number 2. What if we wanted to find g of f of x? Now notice the difference. This problem, if we were asked to find g of f of x, you're going to notice that the inside part does not have a particular number that is being substituted into f. We just have f of x itself. Now, remember we had g of a blank equaled 3 blank plus 4. I really like that because, you know, whatever we're putting into that space on the left will also put off to the right. If I'm saying plug in f of x, well, that means I'm going to be plugging in f of x over here as well. However, what we generally do is we'll take that f of x and say, you know what? The f of x is really x cubed. And our final answer will be 3x cubed plus 4. That's what our g of f of x will equal. Just want to do one last type of a problem with you as well, and maybe even another one after that. We'll have to wait and see how we're doing with time. But very often you could see that you might be asked to find the composition of a function upon itself. You might say, what if we said find g of x? Find g of x. Well, if that's the case, well, my goodness, we could again point out over here that we have g of a blank equals 3 blank plus 4. What's really happening is we're putting in g of x into that space. And you could certainly even do that, g of x on this right-hand side. But what is g of x? G of x, more simply, could be thought of as 3x plus 4. So we have 3 times 3x plus 4. Don't forget we have a plus 4 here also. Here, we'll just move that over just a bit. And we'll distribute. We'll get 9x plus 12 plus 4. 12 plus 4 will be 16. And there we go. That's your g of g of x. Okay, so maybe just one last type of a problem, maybe dealing with 3 compositions, just a friendly way to wrap up. Let's say that we had something of this sort. That for our last one, example 4, what if we had to find, let's see here, h of g of f of -1. My goodness, look at that, a threefold composition. The first thing we're going to have to do is find f of -1. F of -1, just coming up here, that's going to be -1 to the third. -1 to the third is simply -1. And that means that this would become h of g of -1. Well, now we're going to find g of -1. Well, g of -1, if we were to use this assignment, g of a blank equals 3 blank plus 4. This would be 3 times -1 plus 4. 3 times -1 is -3. -3 plus 4 is a 1. Well, my goodness, that's what this g of -1 is. And finally, we'd say, well, what's h of 1? Well, plain and simply, that would be 4 raised up to the 1 power. Final answer would be a 4. Okay, so that's what we're doing with compositions. Hopefully that's going well for you.